Have you ever felt paralyzed by fear, unsure of how to move forward? It's something we all face. Fear is a natural, human response to the uncertainties and challenges life throws our way. But what if I told you that fear doesn't have to control us? What if we could transform that fear into something powerful that drives us forward instead of holding us back? In today's video, we're going to explore how faith can help us overcome fear and live confidently, no matter what challenges we face. Fear often comes when we face the unknown, whether it's a big decision, an uncertain future, or a daunting task. It clouds our judgment and holds us back from pursuing our true potential. But when we rely on faith in God, fear loses its grip on us. Faith gives us the strength, courage, and peace we need to face any fear with confidence. When we place our trust in God and believe in His plan for us, we're reminded that we are never alone. God is with us, guiding us every step of the way. His purpose is greater than any fear we may face, and through His strength, we can rise above our doubts and uncertainties. Faith doesn't just push fear aside, it transforms it into an opportunity for growth, resilience, and personal development. In this video, we'll dive deep into how faith can counteract fear and empower us to live with a confidence that's rooted in the knowledge that God is always by our side. We'll look at practical steps you can take to rely on God's presence and guidance in your daily life, helping you not only conquer your fears but also build a stronger relationship with Him. By living with faith and confidence, you'll find that fear no longer defines you. Instead, it becomes an opportunity to deepen your trust in God, grow stronger in your journey, and experience the fullness of His peace and strength. So let's dive in and begin the journey of living with courage, knowing that with God, we are capable of overcoming any obstacle. Fear is an emotion that everyone experiences at some point in their lives, but its causes can be complex and varied. Understanding the root causes of fear is an essential first step in overcoming it. Fear can arise from many sources, and the most common include anxiety about the future, fear of failure, and lack of self-confidence. One of the primary causes of fear is uncertainty about what lies ahead. The future is inherently unknown, and for many people, this unpredictability breeds anxiety and fear. We may worry about what will happen in our careers, our relationships, or even our health. When we do not know what to expect, our minds often imagine worst-case scenarios, which can paralyze us from taking action or making decisions. This constant fear of the unknown can be overwhelming, leading to self-doubt and inaction. Fear of failure is another common and deeply ingrained cause of fear. This fear often stems from a sense of inadequacy or insecurity. It can manifest when we set high expectations for ourselves and then worry that we will not meet those expectations. Fear of failure can also be triggered by past experiences where we fell short or were criticized. The thought of making mistakes, not living up to our potential, or disappointing others can be so daunting that it prevents us from even trying. This fear is particularly powerful because it can influence not just the big decisions in life, but the small, everyday choices we make, causing us to hold back or avoid taking risks. Low self-confidence or a lack of belief in our abilities is another significant cause of fear. When we do not believe in our own strength, talents, or potential, we are more likely to feel fearful or inadequate in various situations. This can result from childhood experiences, past failures, or even negative messages we receive from others, such as criticism or rejection. When our confidence is shaken, fear often takes hold, convincing us that we are incapable of succeeding or handling life's challenges. This lack of self-belief can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, as we become paralyzed by doubt, and our fear prevents us from taking action or stepping out of our comfort zones. Fear, when left unchecked, can have a significant impact on our lives. It can control our actions and influence our choices, often leading to stagnation or avoidance. When we are consumed by fear, we may make decisions out of self-preservation rather than pursuing what is in alignment with our values or purpose. Fear can cloud our judgment, leading us to make choices based on what we think will keep us safe in the short term, rather than what will truly benefit us in the long term. Fear can also affect our emotions. When we are afraid, we often experience stress, anxiety, and dread. These emotions can lead to a negative feedback loop, where the more we fear, the more anxious we become, and the more difficult it becomes to make clear, positive decisions. This can lead to self-doubt, as well as feelings of helplessness and loss of control. Moreover, fear often leads to avoidance behaviors. If we are afraid of something, our natural instinct is often to avoid it. This avoidance can be in the form of procrastination, denial, or simply not facing difficult challenges head-on. For example, if we fear failure, we may avoid taking risks, even when those risks have the potential to lead to growth and success. We may also procrastinate on important tasks, putting them off until the fear of them becomes too overwhelming to ignore. This avoidance not only prolongs our fear, but also hinders our progress, leaving us feeling stuck and unfulfilled. Over time, this avoidance can turn into a cycle of inaction, leaving us feeling disconnected from our purpose and from the life we are meant to live. The more we avoid confronting our fears, the more power they gain over us. The fear of failure, for example, can escalate and cause us to avoid opportunities for personal growth, preventing us from reaching our full potential. Not all fear is detrimental or irrational. Fear can be a healthy, protective emotion. It can save us from danger and help us make decisions that ensure our safety and well-being. This type of fear is often referred to as natural fear, and it arises in response to real threats or dangers. For example, if we are walking near the edge of a cliff, the fear we feel is a natural, instinctual reaction that helps us stay safe. In these situations, fear serves a protective role, warning us of immediate danger and prompting us to take action to protect ourselves. However, not all fear falls into this category of natural fear. Illogical fear, or irrational fear, arises from misconceptions, negative thinking, or misperceptions about danger. This type of fear is often rooted in exaggerated concerns or fears of things that are unlikely to happen. For example, the fear of speaking in public may be irrational if you know your material well and have prepared, yet the anxiety surrounding it can be paralyzing. Similarly, fear of rejection may prevent us from pursuing relationships or opportunities, even though rejection is a natural part of life and does not define our worth. The difference between natural fear and illogical fear is often the reality of the threat. Natural fear is tied to real dangers or risks, while irrational fear stems from imagined scenarios or exaggerated fears that don't necessarily match the actual risk involved. Illogical fear often arises from a place of self-doubt, lack of trust, or negative thought patterns. It can be triggered by past experiences, societal pressures, or our own insecurities, and it often does not align with the actual circumstances we face. Recognizing irrational fear is the first step in overcoming it. Once we are aware of the ways in which fear influences our decisions, we can begin to differentiate between the fears that are based on reality and those that are rooted in our own negative beliefs or self-doubt. One common form of irrational fear is fear of failure, which may prevent us from even trying to achieve something. This fear is often rooted in a belief that failure reflects our self-worth or abilities. But faith helps us understand that failure is not the end. It is merely part of the process of growth. With faith, we can learn to view failure as a lesson rather than a defining moment. Another form of irrational fear is fear of judgment or fear of what others think. This type of fear can limit us from expressing ourselves authentically, pursuing our passions, or stepping into new opportunities. Faith encourages us to remember that our identity and worth come from God, not from others' opinions. Trusting in His plan for us allows us to move beyond the fear of judgment and step boldly into who we are meant to be. Faith is the antidote to irrational fear. By putting our trust in God, we can begin to overcome these irrational fears and live more freely. The more we trust in God's promises, the more confident we become in the knowledge that He is with us, guiding us through all situations. With faith, fear loses its grip on us, and we can embrace new opportunities, challenges, and experiences with a heart full of courage and trust in God's love and protection. Fear is a natural part of life, but understanding its causes and recognizing the difference between natural and illogical fear is essential to overcoming it. Through faith, we can confront our fears, no matter how big or small, and transform them into opportunities for growth and courage. By aligning ourselves with God's promises and trusting in His plan, we can live a life of confidence, peace, and purpose, free from the paralyzing effects of fear. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that can paralyze us, making us feel uncertain, overwhelmed, and stuck. However, faith can be an incredible tool for overcoming fear. By placing our trust in God, we can transform our fear into strength and resilience. Faith enables us to shift our focus from the fear itself to the promises of God, which serve as a firm foundation in times of uncertainty. The Bible reminds us repeatedly that God is with us, guiding us, and helping us navigate life's challenges, no matter how big or small. When we place our trust in God, we are not relying on our own strength or understanding. Instead, we are leaning on His infinite wisdom and power. In moments of fear, focusing on God's promises helps us shift our attention from our circumstances to God's faithfulness. These promises remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. God's unwavering presence gives us the courage to face even the most difficult situations, knowing that He is by our side, providing strength and comfort. For example, one of the most comforting promises in the Bible is found in Isaiah 41:10, which says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This verse serves as a powerful reminder that God is always with us, offering His strength when we feel weak, His comfort when we feel anxious, and His guidance when we are uncertain. By meditating on these promises, we can begin to see our fears from a different perspective, no longer as obstacles that will defeat us, but as opportunities to lean on God's strength and experience His power at work in our lives. As we grow in faith, we learn to rely on these promises as a source of comfort and strength, especially in times of adversity. Our faith becomes the anchor that keeps us steady in the storms of life. Faith allows us to stay grounded, even when everything around us feels unstable. It gives us the confidence to press forward with courage and resilience, knowing that God's plan for us is greater than our fears. When we face difficult situations, it is easy for fear to overwhelm us. We may be tempted to focus on the obstacles ahead or the uncertainties surrounding us. However, faith in God provides a different perspective. Instead of allowing fear to dictate our emotions and actions, we can choose to trust in God's strength and guidance. Faith teaches us that God is sovereign over all circumstances and that He is fully in control, even when life feels out of control. Rather than being consumed by fear, we are called to trust that God will provide everything we need to navigate the challenges we face. Faith reassures us that God's power is greater than any fear or trial we encounter. It empowers us to move forward, even when we don't have all the answers or a clear path ahead. In times of fear and difficulty, God's strength becomes our strength. Philippians 4:13 reminds us, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This verse highlights the transformative power of God's strength working within us. When we rely on God, He gives us the ability to persevere, even when the journey seems daunting. Our belief in His power allows us to stand firm in the face of fear, knowing that we do not have to face our challenges alone. By focusing on God's strength, we also learn to view our fears through a new lens. Fear often arises when we feel helpless or incapable of handling the challenges before us. But faith reminds us that God equips us for whatever lies ahead. He does not call us to face life's difficulties on our own. He promises to strengthen us, help us, and uphold us every step of the way. In moments of fear, we are not called to be strong in our own power, but to trust in the infinite strength of God, which is always available to us. Using scripture and inspirational words can also help us strengthen our faith and dispel fear. When we meditate on verses like Isaiah 41:10, "Do not fear, for I am with you," or 2 Timothy 1:7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear but of power and love and self-control. We invite God's peace into our hearts. These verses help us remember the truth of God's promises and counteract the lies of fear that we often tell ourselves. In times of trial, it is essential to remind ourselves that God's presence is greater than our fear. He is always with us, and His strength is made perfect in our weakness. By praying and declaring His promises, we can confidently face life's challenges, knowing that we have His strength to carry us through. Faith is not only a tool to use during times of crisis, it is a powerful resource that can be applied to our daily lives to help us overcome fear and live with confidence. Living by faith requires us to trust in God's guidance in every area of life, not just in moments of extreme difficulty. Faith in God transforms how we approach everyday situations, enabling us to face them with hope, courage, and confidence. One of the key ways faith can help us overcome fear in daily life is through prayer. Prayer is the foundation of our relationship with God, and it is a powerful way to combat fear. Through prayer, we communicate with God, seek His guidance, and ask for the strength to face our fears. Prayer allows us to express our anxieties and concerns to God, while also reminding ourselves of His promises and His presence in our lives. In moments of fear, turning to prayer can help us refocus our minds on God's power and peace. Whether it's a quick prayer in the morning for guidance, a moment of prayer during a stressful situation, or a time of thanksgiving for God's faithfulness, prayer helps us to ground ourselves in God's truth and release our fears to Him. The more we pray, the more we deepen our trust in God, and the more confident we become in His ability to guide us through any situation. Another way to apply faith is by taking action despite fear. Often, fear prevents us from taking necessary steps in our lives, whether it's pursuing a new opportunity, facing a challenging conversation, or stepping out of our comfort zone. Faith empowers us to move forward, even when we don't feel completely ready or equipped. When we act in faith, we trust that God will equip us along the way and give us the wisdom and strength we need to navigate each situation. Additionally, relying on God in everyday situations helps us develop a deeper sense of confidence. As we trust Him more in the small, everyday moments, we gain a sense of peace that will carry us through bigger challenges. Living by faith involves acknowledging God's hand in everything, from our relationships to our work, and trusting that He is guiding us every step of the way. Over time, as we practice living out our faith, our fear will diminish, and our confidence in God's ability to handle every situation will increase. Faith is an ongoing process, one that requires us to constantly lean on God's strength and promises. As we continue to apply faith in daily life, we will find that our fears begin to lose their hold over us, and we begin to live with greater courage and assurance. Faith is a powerful tool for overcoming fear. By focusing on God's promises and relying on His strength, we can face any challenge with courage and confidence. Faith helps us not only in difficult times, but also in everyday situations, allowing us to trust in God's guidance and find peace in His presence. Through prayer and action, we can apply faith in our daily lives, transforming fear into an opportunity for growth. As we grow in faith, we become more resilient and more confident in the knowledge that God is always with us, leading us through every trial. True confidence is not solely derived from our personal abilities, achievements, or external validation. Rather, faith is the foundation on which inner confidence is built. Confidence that is rooted in faith goes beyond self-reliance. It is grounded in trusting in God's guidance, strength, and His promises. When we align our hearts with God's will and trust His purpose for our lives, we stop being paralyzed by fear and doubt and begin to act with bravery and perseverance. Often, we fear that we are not enough, or that our abilities are insufficient to face life's challenges. But when we place our trust in God, we shift the focus from our limitations to His infinite capabilities. This is a transformative shift in mindset. It's a reminder that confidence doesn't depend solely on our own understanding or strengths, but on God's power working through us. As the Bible says in Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This verse emphasizes that it's not our personal strength, but Christ's strength that empowers us to face anything. Faith allows us to understand that God has already equipped us with everything we need to succeed. His plan for our lives, however unknown, always includes the tools and resources we need for every situation. Trusting in His provision builds confidence that no matter what obstacles we encounter, God's presence will guide us through and provide what we need at the right time. This confidence is also rooted in the understanding that God is faithful. God is not a man that He should lie, Numbers 23:19, and He will keep His promises. Knowing this gives us the inner assurance to take bold steps forward in faith. With faith, we stop worrying about our weaknesses and focus instead on God's power and faithfulness. Confidence in God allows us to rise above self-doubt and fear, stepping confidently into the path He has prepared for us. The more we trust in God's guidance, the more we realize that confidence doesn't come from being flawless or perfect, but from knowing that God is with us every step of the way. One of the clearest manifestations of confidence rooted in faith is our ability to act with courage in the face of challenges. Often, fear paralyzes us, keeping us stuck in place. We fear failure, criticism, or the unknown, but faith tells us that these fears do not have to control us. Faith in God gives us the courage to move forward despite fear. When we live according to faith, we acknowledge that God is sovereign over all our circumstances. The fear of failure loses its grip when we realize that God's purpose for us will always prevail. Even when we face setbacks or challenges, knowing that God is in control allows us to take courageous actions, trusting that even if we fall, He will be with us, guiding us to rise again. Faith gives us the courage to dream bigger than we might have ever imagined. When we trust that God has a plan for our lives, we are no longer confined by the boundaries of what we think is possible. With faith, the possibilities become endless, and we are empowered to pursue dreams that might have once seemed too big or too far out of reach. The courage to take on seemingly impossible challenges comes from knowing that we are not acting alone. God is with us every step of the way, providing wisdom, strength, and protection. As the Bible says in Joshua 1-9, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." This promise reminds us that we can face any challenge with confidence because God is by our side. When we act in faith, we do so with the assurance that He will never abandon us and that He will equip us for whatever we are called to do. As we take courageous steps forward in faith, we realize that confidence is not a destination, but a journey. The more we act in faith, the more our confidence grows, and the more we see how God is working in and through our lives. Courage becomes less about our own strength and more about relying on God's and trusting that He will guide us through any situation. While faith can help us build confidence and courage, the real test of our faith comes when we act. Confidence and faith are not just theoretical concepts or abstract ideas. They must be demonstrated through practical action in our lives. Faith and confidence are active. They require us to step forward, make decisions, and take action.